Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Alex coming at you from Southern California on a Wednesday evening. Somewhat cloudy, cool evening here in California. I hope everybody's well. Probably my last video of the year here today. So I'm just gonna kind of have a bunch of stuff that I've been listening to. Some stuff I've had for a while, some stuff that I picked up over the last few months. Handful of CDs too. My CD player was not working for several months. I finally got a new one, and so I actually picked up a few CDs recently and have been listening to some of the handful. I only have a handful of CDs. As I mentioned before, I sold most of my CDs a few years ago. For the most part, don't regret it, but definitely a lot of music out there that is not available on vinyl that I really want to check out and that I look forward to exploring. So what I got playing here in the background is this guy here. 1975. The group is French group Defense de. Here's the players. Not a whole lot of information on these guys online. Doesn't appear like any of these three guys did a whole lot after this record. It's on a weird label too. It's called Sorry, there. I don't know if you can catch that. But yeah, really cool record. Basically, I would say like 20th century early electronic music meets kind of free improv jazz kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely a weird one. Really cool. Sounds kind of very electronic at times, and then you'll see towards the end it really gets jamming. So that's that one. That one I've had for a few months. I want to show this one here. Sunrise in Different Dimensions, from 1980 live concert. This is a double LP on the Swiss Hat Hut Records. Unbelievable back cover there, and it comes in this like thick cardboard fold out thing, and the records are housed in this fold out piece. There's the records, but on the inside flap you got this really cool portrait of the man himself. So yeah, 2 records. There's a ton of covers here, everything from around midnight. There's some Coleman Hawkins covers, some Duke Ellington covers. It's a really cool kind of representation of all of the breadth that is Sun Ra, from some really interesting quiet piano covers to some really out there spaced out jams on the keyboards and stuff. So yeah, really happy to find that one locally. There was a huge Sun Ra collection that came in, so I picked up a few. There's another one I picked up. Sun Ra Pictures of Infinity, also really good. This was actually recorded in New York, 1968. So that period, right after his ESP recordings that I really enjoy of Sun Ra, from like 60, 66, 67, 68. This is on the black It's a UK pressing on the Black Lion. So grab that one. This is about 2-3 months ago when this big collection came in. Apologize for the glare. This one, Mythic Worlds. This one is on Philadelphia label on Philly Jazz. Recorded 1978, released in 1980. This one's also fantastic. What's that? Let's see the track listing. Oh yeah. This one there's a beautiful cover of Over the Rainbow on this one. It's really beautiful. Starts off, very delicate, and then it kind of devolves and goes into some free jams. Really awesome stuff. This one I've had for a while. I was just listening to it this morning. Some Xenakis, 20th century composer. This is these are compositions from mid 50s up to the mid 60s. I didn't realize that Xenakis apparently was also a mathematician, and supposedly a lot of his compositions are have some kind of mathematical derivation to them and foundation to them. So it's pretty neat. It's not the easiest to listen. A lot of this stuff, it's not so that it's too experimental for me or anything like that. It's just I think it's the strings in a lot of these 20th century records, they really are just a little frightening, to be honest. They're pretty spooky stuff to listen to. Grabbed this one recently, Robert Schroeder. So this is on the German Innovative Communications label. The same label as some of those Clara Monstein records that have been shown recently. This is excellent. This is absolutely excellent. Actually, I already had a Robert Schroeder record. I think this is my. Alright, I'm back. I ran out of memory there for a second. I had to go to the different lighting here. So anyway, I don't know where I cut off, but we'll just keep pressing forward. I changed the record here to this one here. Le Tron Fou de Lublin is the band. This is the record Battelage. So I don't know if I've ever seen these guys shown on the VC. I know. Well, that's not true. I'm pretty sure Derek maybe showed one a long time ago, but I'm not sure if I've seen anything since. So, Le Tron Fou is this French band from the 70s through the early 80s, primarily this trio, female vocalist. And then we got Chris Chanet and Ferdinand Richard. Fantastic band. I've really been into them over the last several months. These records are not really all that expensive. They are hard to find in the US, but you can still get them relatively cheaply overseas. And let me grab the other ones that I had. So I think this is the one after the one that I just showed here. Title is Les Trois Jours Pareillement au Pays de. So these are all from kind of the late 70s. So the general sound, I would say it's almost like a French perubu. You know, somewhat political. I mean, I know a little bit of French, not enough to really understand what the message is, but you know, I do pick up on words here and there. So very angular type, sort of post-punk, avant-garde rock. And you know, generally I'm not big on music with a lot of vocals, but you know, I really like the way that you know, the sound of the French language, you know, complements, you know, the music here. And yeah, definitely a lot of noise and dissonance. The drummer's really talented as well. So really cool band. This one is from like 80, 81 or something like that. I love that cover here. This one is called Le Sillon de la Terre. There's the guys a little bit later here. So yeah, there's a lot of saxophone. Now this lineup here is Bruno Meillet on saxophone. You know, again, the vocalist Juju Chenevier. So she actually does vocals and drums, and Ferdinand Richard does bass and the male vocal. I think I have a couple more here. I got this one. This one is called Les Poumons Gonflés, which I think is like the inflated lungs. This one is, I think, from like 79. No, I lied. Recorded in 81, released in 92. Also excellent. I thought I had one more. Maybe I didn't pull it. Well, I'll show this one. Another fantastic French band. This one, I think I was turned on to these guys by Chris Cole. I think he showed, yeah, this one here. Chris had shown this one. I think in his first video, you know, when he kind of came back to the VC, and yeah, I was immediately intrigued. This one I found at a really reasonable price. It's on the Cobra label, French Cobra label. Fantastic experimental rock record. This is their first one, self-titled. This one is a reissue on Wawa. Yeah, I've been trying to find an affordable copy of an original, but you know, even this reissue is getting pretty expensive on Wawa. And then their second album, the one in between these two guys, is maybe the hardest one to find, and Richard Pinas plays guitar on that one, so maybe that's why it's maybe a little more sought after. But yeah, another fantastic French band. Of course, I did my video on Richard Pinas and the Helden recently, so I've been also getting into some of these other French bands as well. This one I showed before because I picked it up a few months ago, earlier in the year, but there's Juju Chevalier, who's again the vocalist on Le Grand Fou Le Lublin. I'll have to spin this one again. I haven't spun this one in a while, but really cool. What else we got here? I picked up this one a few months ago at a local store. This is a 75 pressing of this masterpiece from Frank Zappa and the Mothers. Burgundy Toast is actually my first Frank Zappa record. He's an artist I've been trying to get into for some time. I've listened to him a lot online. Most of the time when I find these records, they're way overpriced or they're trashed. And this was one of a handful that I had kind of always had in my head that I was gonna pick up if I saw them. And yeah, this one I picked up was in really nice shape. Yeah, what more can you say about Zappa? He's one of the great innovators of the modern music, right up there with it kind of reminds me of Ornette Coleman in that he kind of got pigeonholed into his genre of music, for him being rock and roll, and when he tried to go into other areas like jazz or modern classical, he was kind of shunned and not taken very seriously. But I think all those people are looking pretty foolish nowadays. I pulled this one out recently. Really enjoyed it. Of course, I love all of her records, but yeah, definitely stood out this time is one of her more maybe psychedelic efforts, I would say. And yeah, I love the rhythm section with Jack DeJohnette, Rashid Ali, and you got Jimmy Garrison on bass. So yeah, one of the classics. This one I picked up just a couple weeks ago. So if you guys follow Instagram at all, or like the band Wolf Eyes, one of the members of the band Wolf Eyes, he posts. He has a really eclectic taste in music, an avid record collector, and he posted this one. I had no idea what it was. I was intrigued by it. Looked it up. So it's a trio improv, jazz record. We got drums, sax, and guitar. Recorded in 2006. Yeah, really fantastic trio record with some really cool James Blood Ulmer type guitar sounds. I grabbed an upgrade copy of this one. This is a UK like second pressing. It's actually listed as a first pressing online. So he kind of gave me a little bit of a discount, since I told him, hey, really, it's not a first pressing. Fortunately, the recording quality is still iffy on this one. I used to have the US pressing, but I think the original master had some issues, so I think it's just the way that it sounds. I don't know if the music and vinyl version is any better, but glad to pick that one up. Yep, here was that other Robert Schroeder album that I was looking for previously. So this is Mosaic on again on the Innovative Communications. Actually, I haven't spun that one yet. Fantastic reissue that came out this year, and music. So this is kind of a legendary record for free jazz. It's released originally in I can't remember now. Can't remember the release date now, but so basically you got quintet, you got Cornelius Cardew on piano, cello, and radio, Lugar on tenor, and violin, Eddie Provost on drums, xylophone, bells and cymbals, Keith Rowe on electric guitar, and Lance Sheaf on cello, accordion, and transistor radio. So yeah, fantastic reissue. You know, originals of this are ridiculously expensive. Yeah, really happy to see that one reissued. What else do I got here? We got more recent electronic artist, One O Tricks Point Never. I think he's from out east somewhere in the US. So this is called R+7. It's kind of a collage electronic music record. It's a double LP. Still kind of digesting this one. It's pretty interesting. Still not sure if I love it or if it's kind of mediocre. But I was playing this one recently. I don't think I've showed this one. Jonas, I saw you got you recently picked up a early pressing on this one. This is the late 90s reissue on Spalax. Sounds really good. It's not much to say here. It's a stone cold classic Krautrock. Finally grabbed this reissue, Romy Hosono. This is Omni Sightseeing. So it was recorded in 88 through 89. Very interesting. I actually had not heard it until I picked it up, and it wasn't quite what I was expecting. I was expecting something a little more ambient, a little more electronic. But you know, this is basically an experimental pop record with all kinds of different influences from, of course, Japanese to Middle Eastern. There's singing in French and Arabic. Yeah, and there's definitely some French influence in the music as well. It's a beautiful cover. Did a really nice job on the reissue. I've not picked up any of the other. Here's the other reissues that have come out this year. Not sure if I'm gonna be able to pick up any. These other ones are getting hard to find already. But yeah, definitely check out Romy Hosono. So this one I showed up in my last video. This was the Japanese ambient record that I picked up from Hiroshi Yoshimura, called Air. I incorrectly said that this was commissioned for a hotel. This was actually commissioned for fragrance, Japanese perfume company. And I guess, and I can kind of still smell it. I guess when you take it out of the sleeve, it's supposed to have the scent of the fragrance that they were marketing for this record. But regardless, I mean, it still goes to the idea of this period of Japanese music that was, you know, in a way used commercially. You know, not just as, you know, ambient music the way that, you know, envisioned, but in fact for very specific buildings, specific products in this case. But you know, the music definitely has stood the test of time despite its commercial purpose. What else can I grab here? Let's see. Yeah. Oh yeah, this one. So there's a soundtrack to the movie The Conversation, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Movie was from what, 1974? Yeah, 1974. I think the original, yeah, the only music released at the time was on a 7-inch demo with the theme, and then basically it wasn't until years later that it came out on CD, and so this is the first time it's been pressed to vinyl. Don't know a whole lot about the composer, David Shire, but yeah, this beautiful, it's a beautiful soundtrack, ominous at times. It's a fantastic movie. Definitely check it out. You know, it's all about you know, surveillance, mystery, and just you know, isolation and paranoia, that kind of stuff. But yeah, the music is fantastic, and you know, Gene Hackman, he plays the sax. I don't know if it's his actual playing in the movie, but you know, in the movie he plays the sax a little bit, and it's, yeah, really neat stuff. What else have we got here? Another fantastic reissue I picked up recently is this one from Steve Reich, drumming. So it's from recorded in 1971, and it basically you know, documents, you know, this sort of sound experiment that Reich set up. Here's a photograph that kind of shows, you know, the musicians, you know, their placement, and you know, and this diagram corresponds to that, of course. So yeah, it sounds great. It's recorded really nicely, and yeah, just your, you know, I would say, yeah, definitely one of his more famous and more you know, well thought out experiments. Yeah, it's beautiful, you know, repetitive percussion, you know, patterns, and some yeah, you got two female vocalists as well that provide some additional texture. Really cool stuff. What else? Oh yeah, I can show a couple CDs here. Let's grab that one. It's Rashid Ali and Lou Belgagenis. Don't know a whole lot about Lou, but as is evident from this session, he's a fantastic tenor sax player. They actually cover a couple of tunes from John Coltrane and Rashid Ali's record, Interstellar Space. There's Rings of Saturn, Seraphic Light. I think those are the two tracks from that one. Really, really cool. Definitely check that one out. What else we got? CDs. We got this one, Ornette Coleman from 2006. What is this? Song Grammar. Still sounds fresh as ever. I used to have this one. The Can Lost tapes that came out about 2012. Yeah, really cool. Kind of lost tracks from 69 all the way through 74, 75. Yeah, haven't spun this one since I sold it years ago, so I'm looking forward to spinning that one again. Got Eric Dolphy on Blue Note. This is the Illinois concert, recorded at my college that I went to, University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. So it was recorded on March 10th of 1963. Features Herbie Hancock on piano, Eddie Cannon on bass, JC Modes on drums. Excellent, excellent concert. Worth seeking out, and that may never be on vinyl, and it's $5-10 at most. You can find it online. What else? I'll grab this one. This is not a first pressing, it's an early pressing on Philips, Les Ormes. I'm sure this has been shown before. Filona e Sonora. It's a top-rate Italian Prog. Really happy to pick that one up for pretty cheap. These are the kinds of records you don't see very often in the US, and Glass House Records really prices everything very fairly. What else? Well, since I got this one here, I'll give a shout out to the VC's own Michael P. Dawson. I picked this up in 2017 when he put it out, and really cool electronic music. Definitely check out his channel. Definitely deserves a lot more subscribers than he has. He's a really knowledgeable, talented about music, and of course he's a very talented musician in his own right. I don't know if he has any more of these for sale, but definitely worth checking out if you're interested in electronic music. And it's hard to see here, but really cool artwork as well. Alright, I think I'm gonna cut it off there. Again, I think this will probably be my last video for the year. I'll be going to Chicago at the end of the month. Hopefully I'll get to dig a little bit out there, but hope everyone is well. Happy holidays, and we'll keep digging in the new year. Take care.